Many SQE candidates find solicitors' accounts particularly challenging. So today, exclusively on SQE TV, we've got an original FLK2 standard MCQ on the subject of solicitors' accounts, but only after the jingle.
If you wanna be solicitors, why don't you come and visit us at SQE TV?
So here it is, exclusively for SQE TV, an original FLK2 standard MCQ on the subject of solicitors' accounts. I'm going to read through the question and you're going to then pause the video to see whether you can work out the answer in about a minute after we've read through the question together. And then resume the video to see how you got on and compare your answer to ours and the analysis. A woman has a serious accident at work. She sues her employer, who admits liability. The woman dies of her injuries. The firm which acted for the woman on her claim also act for her executors. Shortly after the woman's death, her executors settle her claim for £50,000 plus all of her legal costs, which amount to £40,000, including VAT and disbursements. The executor solicitors recently delivered an invoice for £40,000 to the executors in respect of those costs, which have not yet been paid. The employer solicitors have just sent £90,000 to the executor's solicitor's client account. Has there been a breach of the SRA solicitors accounts rules? So we've taken around about 40 odd seconds to read through the question there, so you should have about a minute or so to peruse those answers and decide on your final option. Pause the video now, give yourself a minute to find the answer, and then we will share our findings with you.
SQE TV.
Just before we go through each of the options, I thought I'd share with you just a few thoughts in the thinking behind the way that I crafted this question. This is typical of a two-tier type of single best answer question that the SRA set in the SQE exams, where a question is asked, a very short question, either a yes or no answer, and then some sort of justification or explanation follows. And obviously you've got to get the yes or no bit right as well as the explanation bit right. So let's just remind you of the question. Has there been a breach of the SRA solicitors accounts rules? And option A was yes, there has been a breach of the rules because a firm can't mix its own money with client money. And this distractor, as we call it, it's actually a wrong option, but it's one that would catch out a lot of candidates, because a good candidate, a well-prepared candidate, would have appreciated that that £90,000 is a mixed payment. The £50,000 is client money because that belongs to the executors. The £40,000 is the firm's money because they've billed for their costs. So on the face of it, it's a mixed payment, and it's correct. The Solicitors Accounts rules say you cannot mix client money and the firm's own money. But there is an exception, which we'll see when we look at the right answer, where temporarily the firm can have the monies all arriving in the client account. So at this point, it's not a breach of the Solicitors Accounts rules, and therefore option A is not the correct answer. So let's have a look at option B. Remember the question, has there been a breach of the SRA Solicitors Accounts rules? And B says no, because the whole of the £90,000 is client money. And we can rule that out quite quickly because we've already concluded that £40,000 of the money belongs to the firm because we've billed for it, and therefore it's not client money. The £50,000 is client money. It's a mixed payment. So B is clearly the incorrect answer. But let's give you a scenario where option B would be correct. And that would be in a situation where perhaps the executors have already paid the bill for their costs, or the woman's costs for the personal injury claim, and therefore effectively that is being received by way of reimbursement of sums that have already been paid by them. In that case, it would be client money, and therefore option B would be correct. So the whole £50,000, the £40,000 would be client money, but only if the executors had already paid the bill and you were told here on the facts that they hadn't. Just before we continue with the rest of the analysis of the question, if you're liking this video, do please give it the thumbs up in the usual way, because it helps us get ahead of the algorithm. And if you want more of this content delivered to you, remember this is original stuff that no one else gets to see. It's exclusively for SQE TV. Please do tap that notification bell to find out as soon as the videos drop, and subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, let's go back to now look at option C. Option C, which was also an incorrect answer, would have distracted a few students away from the correct answer. Why? Well, because it provides a solution to the problem of having mixed payments, which generally are not permissible. But as we said a moment ago, and we'll see when we see the right answer, that it is possible to temporarily have a mixed payment arriving in your client account. So to say yes, there was a breach would be wrong as well. But also, it's not the single best answer for the reasons we'll see when we look at option D, which is the right answer. So, as you may have guessed, option D was the single best answer, which said there's been no breach of the SRA Solicitors Accounts rules, provided the executor solicitors transfer the money belonging to the firm, the £40,000, from their client account to their business account as soon as is practicable, because the SRA Solicitors Accounts rules permit a mixed payment to be received temporarily into the client account, provided the firm transfers over the money belonging to it to its own business account pretty shortly afterwards. And we're talking immediately, same day, within a business day, you're probably still okay and within the rules. Finally, option E, and this would have caught a few people out because it's the second best answer but not the best answer. So yeah, it's recognising the fact that there is a mixed payment here and that's not ideal, and I suppose in theory this is a plausible option. You wouldn't be in breach of the rules by sending back the £40,000 and asking the solicitors for the employer to send it directly to the firm's business account, but it's very impractical. And when you've got option D there staring at you in the face, which you've got control of by simply transferring the money from the client account to your own business account, why send it back? It just doesn't make any sense.
SQE TV.
Hope you found that video useful. It was quite a tricky solicitors accounts question. If you got it right, well done. If you didn't, don't worry, you will not be on your own. And if you want more of these types of original questions exclusively on SQE TV, do leave a comment in the comment section below the video and we'll do what we can. You might want to suggest some topics and we'll come up with some in future episodes. In the meantime, as we always do, when we finish an SQE TV video, we say it's now time for the jingle.
If you wanna be solicitors, why don't you come and visit us at SQE1?